Hello there and welcome to the Big Agent Meeting. My name is Russ Lagan and we are here today to talk to you about Father's Day weekend and a Father's Day special. Now's a great time for us to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. In the real estate business, we are always talking about the hustle in the industry, but the real reason we're building our businesses is probably for you and me to help support the people that we love. Then the why behind everything we do in our business becomes super clear. Our why here on the Big Agent Meeting is to give you the tools, the mindset, and the resources to help you thrive on a day-to-day basis. We've got a fantastic lineup for you guys today designed to help you protect your time, scale your business, and take your business to the next level. Let's take a look at who we got coming up on the show today. First off, I cannot wait for you guys to watch this video. CEO Leo Pareja is jumping on with me for a special chat about fatherhood, family, and business. Then, of course, we're going to kick it over to the brokerage brief with the one and only Holly Mabery. And then finally, we're going to finish it up with EXP University Spotlight with Alyssa Speck talking about the kind of high-level training we've got lined up for you for the next 30, 60, 90 days. So let's kick things off with the very first segment. Join me right now talking business, life, and the beauty of building legacy for the ones we love with the one and only Leo Pareja. Check this out. So, hey, everybody gets to see you as CEO guy and the guy on the stage, and you get the persona of the executive guy. I kind of want to break down into something a little bit more personal. As you know, Sunday is Father's Day. You are a father, and I wanted to ask you some questions that are Father's Day related. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
All right, so let's start off with a good one, easy one. What's one thing that you wish somebody had told you about fatherhood that you didn't know?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I wanted to be a dad since I can remember. I was 5 or 6 years old. I was like, I'm going to be a dad one day. So it was like not optional. Like, you know, my dad is my superhero, and it's just something I always wanted to be. So it was very eventuality for me. You know, for me, I don't think I would have quite experienced the human experience without it. And again, some folks choose not to have children or can't, and I completely respect people's life choices. But for me, it was something on the to-do list of life from the very beginning. So I don't think anyone could prepare you for how much your heart expands. Like, you think you love someone until you hold your offspring. You're like, I would give my life for this person that I just met. So I think that's an interesting feeling to internalize.
No doubt. I think that's, that's the one thing when I hear stuff like that, I miss that. My wife and I can't have children. So we never have been able to. We do love our greyhounds, but it's not the same.
Well, and again, that's why I said, like, my younger brother, he was just as clear at the exact same age that he never wanted to be a dad. And we were like, you know, super little guys when we were both super clear about it. And I have an uncle and an aunt that never had children on both sides. Yeah. So like, we actually had examples of both. And so I talk about this often, like, this is your one and only life, and you should live it to the fullest in the way you want to. And there's no judgment from me in either direction.
You know, it's interesting because I do know, and I've heard this around you a number of times, you do speak so highly of your dad. Tell me a little bit about your dad. What is the thing? Like, what is it about your dad that you love so much?
Well, first of all, he was an incredible father and provider, but he was just gentle. And he is an amazing person that I've just looked up to, both professionally and family-wise. And I think there is this embedded admiration for parents. Like, you see it with even bad parents, where folks just say, well, that's still my parents.
Yeah.
And I just attribute so much of my journey to just being blessed with amazing human beings who just told me I could do anything I put my mind to. And to this day, I think there's days where my mom still quite doesn't understand what I do for a living. But she's very, very proud. So I think they get concerned with my stress or my travel schedule. Yeah. And that's also really cool. Like, they're in their 80s and I'm still their little boy.
That, you know, it's funny. We keep growing up, but we're still their kids, right? Every single time. I know it's like my dad. Sometimes I just shake my head. I'm like, Dad, I'm 54 freaking years old. Come on, man. Like, I'm good. We're good. So tell me about your children. I know a little bit, but tell me about your
so I have 2 kiddos. I have an 11-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. and they're my everything. They're just an amazing couple of young human beings that are coming into their own. And, probably my favorite part about being a parent is kind of re-experiencing life from their perspective, right?
Yeah.
So all of the, when they were really little and they were discovering just stuff for the first time, and now it's like self-actualizing as a human being is actually pretty cool to watch. And I'm just enjoying being able to share some of those, parts of wisdom that I really appreciate again from my parents about, my daughter is about to be a teenager. She's a tween. And so she can get razzled rather easily now. And it is a big deal. And one of the things we're practicing is like, don't give your piece to somebody else or something external. And I think that applies to all grownups too, right? Like we can't let external inputs dictate how we feel, right? Because then you lose your power, right? So to the agents listening, that is, you can't control interest rates. You can't control inventory. You can't control how long people want to see homes, or rewind the movie a couple years and you couldn't control 46 other competing offers. But you can control how you feel about those things. And those are the lessons I'm trying to pass to my children right now.
Amazing. My next question was going to be, what things in business do you do that has worked well actually being a father and a parent? Is there anything in business that translate to being a good dad?
Oh, I think a lot. I think patience. I think not overreacting in the moment, right? I think if I overreacted in business right now, I'd probably have a heart attack because something is breaking news every 5 minutes.
Every day.
And I think part of it is, proper planning, right? So if you guys have a big day tomorrow, you got to go to bed early and you got to pack a lunch, and then you're not tired, and then you're not hungry and get hangry and say something you regret. And again, that all goes into business, right? Like super transferable things of like, I live in Miami. There is traffic. Leave earlier, right? And the things I'm learning to try to explain to kids as they're in their extremely formative years. And I read a ton, and the age group they're in right now is probably what's going to determine who they are as adults, right? Like the experiences, the lessons they learn. But it's all very transferable. And the one that I say to them a lot is, at the end of the day, we will die. And it is kind of dark in a way, but I think it's actually really freeing when you realize like it's just one life. And the older we get, the more we realize that none of it really mattered in the moment. Yeah. Right. So what feels like the end of the world because, you spilled something on your clothes, or you had a closing that went the wrong way, applied to a 9-year-old, applied to a 40, 50-year-old realtor. Like, don't have that be what defines the day, the week, the month, right? Like, don't be upset at the birthday party. Don't be upset at the recital because your deal's blowing up. It's okay, right? And that's where I actually said it to my kids when they're kind of having a meltdown, and I'm like, "But did you die?" Like, no, Dad. I'm like, well, if you're still breathing, if you're still above ground, I would say it's a pretty good day.
Yeah. Interesting. I just had a quote recently, Tuesday in one of our meetings. They asked me to pull 3 jokes in a quote university thing. It's actually pretty funny. And if you're not groaning, it wasn't a bad enough joke. And one of the things, the quote was something to the line of, treat every day as if it's a new life. That was a quote from ancient philosopher Seneca. It's like, literally, today is, you might not have a tomorrow. So what is most important today? So let me ask you the reverse of that. What in raising children actually helps you be a better CEO?
I mean, the one that's very hyper aware to me is patience. And I think it's what makes you a good agent, right? Like, yeah. I think that if we stick to the same thread of we're all going to die, I would flip it to like, we're all living for the first time. Yeah. And I think if you can remember that, you can extend a lot of grace to most situations. Yeah. Right. Managing humans at scale and interacting with them. I remind people all the time, like, you don't know what's going on in their day. Their spouse could have just been diagnosed with cancer. their only child could have just gone to college, and like that hit them really hard, and that is probably causing actual depression, right? You know, I remember a realtor I was friends with. She had triplets, and I knew her pretty well at the office. And the day they graduated and moved to college, it like hit her super hard. She said, for 18 years of my life, the house was a zoo with 3 little ones, but they all left the same day, right? So, and just if you kind of can take that perspective and that frame into almost any situation, I find that I can have a lot of grace for people in any situation. And if you can just put yourself in their shoes, I think it makes you a better negotiator. It makes you a better advisor, service provider, expert guide. And it kind of, just because it's logical or mundane to you, that's not what they're experiencing on the other end.
Yeah, amazing. That is actually very, very intuitive, actually, which is interesting. You know, so let me ask you a question. So you, Leo, the guy, you have some hobbies and you have some things that you like to do. I know you love to do spearfishing, throw on a tank and jump in the water and go spearfishing. How important is that to you as a father to be showing your family like you got to have hobbies? My dad was a woodworker growing up. I don't do anything at all like him except woodwork. I build electric bass guitars as a hobby. He built kitchen cabinets. I don't know how to build a kitchen cabinet. He doesn't know how to build a guitar. But it was that thing that I saw consistently. And somehow now looking back, I'm like, how the hell did I end up like my dad? That was him. He'd go down in the evenings and he'd make sawdust and he'd be running a router at 11 p.m. at night because that was the only time he could work, right? So how important is that to you?
Yeah. So we, you know, for good or bad, we turn out just like them. Right. So I take that responsibility pretty heavily as a parent. And, you know, I see the quote quite a bit. And obviously my echo chamber in social is parenting stuff. Right. But, you know, there's one that says, your son will be just like you and your daughter will want to marry someone just like you. So if you can remember that, I think that's a super helpful frame of reference to take you back in the moments where like you're frustrated. Are you yelling? Are you overreacting? You know, if you've let 30 minutes go by, you realize it probably was trivial and not that big of a deal.
Right.
But, you know, I think that how I think about the question you said is again, as a parent, I said, when you hold that kid for the first time, you don't realize how much you can love something. The first reaction I think we have is, I would die for them. Right. And that's a very real, visceral human reaction. And I remember my daughter's first fever, like bad one. She was 18 months and it hit like 106. And it was just like terrifying. Like I called a pediatrician. He said, I don't know what the hell to do. Go to the hospital. And right, like we went to the hospital. And again, like in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing compared to like, you know, some other worse diseases that kids confront. But I would say the flip side of that, and that is the answer to your question, is, but will you live for them? And so I know a lot of folks that said they would die for them, but I'm like, okay, do you go to bed early? Do you drink alcohol? Do you work out? Do you eat clean? Do you sleep enough?
Yeah.
Because my goal is to live as long as possible, as healthy as possible, to enjoy them as long as possible. Yeah. And that's actually an example I got from my father. So my dad's turning 83 in August, and he's probably in better shape than you and me, Russ. It's incredible. Like he looks like he's in his 60s, 70s. And like like you remember the sawdust in the basement. I remember my dad came home every day, and no matter what happened, he'd work out. And I would like sit on him while he was doing push-ups and sit-ups. And it was just ingrained in me. Like we work out 4 or 5 days a week. And so with both of our kids, we've tried to find stuff they enjoy and really nurture it. So for my daughter, it's singing. She's a part of School of Rock, and like she's already done more rock star stuff at 11 than most grown-ups I know. Like she'll like once a quarter do a performance in front of like 50, 100 people at a venue.
Wow.
And then my son does Brazilian jiu-jitsu 3 to 5 days a week, and he's competed 5, 6 times in like IBBJF tournaments. But for both of them, it's not about like, I need you to become pro or famous. It's for actually both of them, I'm hyper-focused on, I want them to experience as much failure in public as possible.
Yes.
Which I don't think society is set up for. Like school doesn't teach that.
Nope.
the participation trophy culture is the opposite of it.
Yep.
And like when you are the lead singer of a band and your voice cracks or you don't hit the note, like there is no more visceral experience than that. When it's 1 versus 1 and you lose the fight, there is no participation trophy. And I don't know that there's a better teacher than failure, right? Like, so that, like, I don't really care about their grades because I don't remember mine ever helping me with anything, but my ability to get up in front of 5,000 people and talk into this is more important. So that is, you know, my son's competed at, you know, his age group at IBBGF in front of hundreds of people. Wow. And the other kid that came on the mat had like a lightning bolt shaved into his head and came on in his knuckles and started beating his chest because he's homeschooled and does jujitsu 8 hours a day.
Wow.
He beat my son. But my son was terrified before, but after the event, he was like, I went in there and I put up a fight. I almost actually won.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff I'm focused on. So yes, I'm an avid diver. My daughter is already certified at 11. Nice. And my son gets his certification in 9 months on his 10th birthday. And they will both be avid divers. And I didn't force them. Like, again, that is why I think being a role model in your behavior is modeled. Like, I think they think I'm pretty cool, primarily because I make them a priority and spend a lot of time with them. So they just want to do what dad does. So dad dives and they're both going to dive and they both are counting down the days till I let them spearfish. And I've told them they can't do that till they can probably drive a car. That's kind of the litmus test I have in my head. And again, for folks who are in the business frame of reference in this conversation, like if you have anyone who looks up to you, your behavior is what people model, right? Like if they're aspiring to be like you in business, your leadership style gets emulated. Right. So if it's fear-based, if it's short temper based, if it's emotionally charged. Yeah. Right. Like I believe I'm an extremely passionate and transparent person, but like you've worked with me very closely. Yeah. I don't think you've ever seen me lose my temper in business. Right. No. Like.
No, not yet. I've seen you be very direct, but that's good, right? Like,
but that's not losing my temper or yelling, right?
No, and like that's good. I think that's a great trait. It's like, hey, I'm frustrated. I'm going to be very direct, so we don't have any confusion. Exactly what my expectations are here today. Now, that was it. Like, all right, cool. That was pretty straight. Yeah, I like that. So, if you were to go back and do one thing over, what would you do different?
That's a trick question because like I wouldn't be here my both my kids right now are obsessed with the Marvel universe and we're in the multiverse part of the series right now. Yes. And it's funny because I've seen those movies where you can kind of change a thing, but like if I changed anything and neither my daughter or my son would be my daughter or my son, game over. Game over. I don't want it. I don't care if it's being the wealthiest. I do not give a shit if I don't get my kids.
That is super fantastic. Well, Leo, it's great to get to talk to the man behind the role and the father behind the role. I want to say personally, happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to your father. Thank you for raising a great kid. A lot of people love you, brother, and we appreciate who you are and what you do and how you do it. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being a father to a lot of us. Right. It's very, very similar role. You got a bunch of kids around you and we're the family. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate you a bunch.
Thank you for having me on, Russ.
All right. Thank you very much, Leo. I enjoyed that conversation. One of the things I liked the most is when he said, I realized I would die for this little person. And now I think, but will I live for this person? And doing the things, staying healthy, eating healthy, taking care of himself, all of those things. So he lives a long life for his family. I thought that was a beautiful sentiment. So now that we've talked about the why behind our business, let's transition into operational side. Let's keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening behind the scenes of the brokerage with the one and only Holly Mabery. Take it away, Holly Mabery.
Well, it has been a wild and wacky June. And I think when I look at us going into the summer and all the news coming out of Washington, D.C. this week, I really wanted to spend a couple of moments just breaking things down. So as you sit across the table from your buyers and sellers this weekend, you have a better conversation. And so it's all about strategy right now and how we help people understand where they're at in the marketplace. Right now, we're seeing active listings. The growth continues to slow down a little bit nationally. And this is what's going on in May. We saw year over year, like we're up a little bit, but that's not huge. When we look at overall, the market is doing okay. And this is when I look at inventory is up a little bit, right? We were tracking in March and April in the 700,000s, and now we're up a little bit higher. Median list price, this is what caught me off guard though. Median list price has jumped quite a bit. We're at 450 right now, and that's been no change month to month. But the median days on market holding nationally at about 56 days. Now, price reductions are increasing. And that's something that you and I need to be able to have that conversation with our seller, because inventory is climbing. We're not seeing as much buyer activity. And so how we have that conversation with our seller to help them. Now, this week out of the Federal Reserve, we saw a unanimous vote not to adjust the interest rate, which, okay, great. We've got inflation holding consistent right around 4.2. Energy costs, they are increasing still right around 3.9%. Now, new jobs, that was helpful, 172,000, but the employment rate staying somewhat stable. Now, when we look at this economic data, it's kind of like a mixer of everything that's going on. But what matters is the person across the table from you, how you're having the conversation with them, what it means to them. And so when you look at the interest rate holding tighter and a little bit higher, who is their buyer? Who is most likely to come in and buy their house? And so let's take a look at that real fast. We've seen some demand rebounding. Mortgage applications are down from an all-time high so far this year in February, and this was pre-war. But with some of the negotiations that we continue to see going on, everybody is hopeful that the Strait of Hormuz is opening. That will give us some stability. Mortgage applications increased last week. They're down a little bit this week, and they're just kind of bumping along. So it's not huge fluctuations, but first-time home buyers, they are still not real active in the market. And that's hard, because when we take one entire generation out of a home buying cycle, that means a delay in generational wealth. That means a delay in getting into the market. That means a delay in one whole life cycle where they buy and sell. And that can be substantial. Now, this week I was in Washington, D.C., and the Road to Housing Act passed the Senate night before last. It was very, very exciting. Why we care? Well, the Road to Housing Act will have the impact of changing the mortgage interest deduction. If you're filing solo right now, it's basically $250,000. But if you are filing jointly, it's $500,000. Those will increase from $250,000, $500,000 to $500,000, $1 million. Now, the hope is by increasing that write-off, if you will, it will allow people to kind of free up and start to sell properties that maybe they've been holding on to and a little nervous about. That could help our first-time home buyers. Now, again, some of this is just kind of long tail, could not see immediate reaction in the next 3 days, but it's something that I want you to be talking to your sellers about. So when I think about your seller, what I want you to really be mindful of, with nearly 47% more sellers than buyers right now, we've got to be very well prepared. The conversations need to be different. And so in talking to a lot of our big teams and agents who are working with a lot of clients, they're saying they're seeing almost a 40% dropout in one of our markets of contract cancellations. So they may have 10 under contract in a month, but they may see 40% of those either push the next month or fall out. But what's interesting is the buyers are sticking with their agents, which is so great. They're coming back. They want to engage, but those concessions are making a huge difference. The closing costs, so how you negotiate the contract upfront, makes a difference. The second time is the repairs. And so that home inspection, what the buyers come up with during that home inspection or their inspection period, is really impacting sellers, because it's not quite a second bite at the apple, but it's a knowledgeable understanding of what they're actually buying. And buyers are willing to walk over little things. So the conversation with your seller becomes really important. The overall condition of the property is weighing heavy on everybody's mind because of the cost of materials and goods to upgrade any properties, whether it's a roof, whether it's HVAC, anything like that. So it's really important. And so in those discerning buyers, I want you to think about active engagement. And buyers are going to ChatGPT, they're using Claude, they're trying to get estimates in advance, and they're making decisions through a lot of different sources. And their negotiating savvy is also clicking up. And so as a result, if you're working with your seller right now and you're having a strategy of going onto the market, what does it look like? Who is our target buyer? What can we expect out of them? And what might they expect? So in my market, I just recently sold my house. I had to negotiate on price. I had to negotiate on repairs. And it was one of those, there were certain things that were a bit itchy-scratchy, which is okay, but you have to be mindful of it. And at the end of the day, what's the most important thing to your seller? Is it price? Is it time? Is it getting onto their next? Or is it just kind of moving through? Now, every negotiation is absolutely going to help right now. So those small concessions matter. Every dollar, like with the interest rate at the rate it is, buyers are very mindful. And so the timing of everything, how you ask, when you ask, what you ask for, and the consistency in your contract, it matters. So knowing your contract inside and out, when you're asking for concessions, doing it up front, making sure that you are utilizing a seller net sheet is critical. And the other thing I want to really encourage you is I actually want you to call the other agent. I want you to pick up the phone, whether it's a buyer side or seller side. If I'm on the buyer side, I'm picking up the phone before I write the offer and saying, hey, what's most important to your seller? Is it time? Is it condition? Is it price? Like, what do I need to know? And then on the seller, if I'm the seller's agent, I'm calling the buyer's agent and saying, okay, see your contract. Thank you so much. What's most important here to your buyer? Is it timing to get in? Is it the concessions? And is it negotiation of repairs? Like, what can't they live with? Like, what is going to walk them away from this property? And that makes a huge difference. So as you prepare to go into the market this week, I wanted you to have some things to help you be better when sitting across the table from your seller. But your local market stats, these are ones I need you to have in your back pocket always. Makes all the difference in the world. So the days on market, your list to sale ratios, the price reduction. What is the original list price to actually getting under contract and then even close? Because there are some negotiations that are happening in that contract to close that actually impact what looks like next. Also, look at your common hotspots across your market. You could have a specific zip code or neighborhood or street that is super popular, and you need to be aware of that. And then what are the common loan types you're seeing? Is it FHA? Are you seeing more VA right now? Because you might negotiate those slightly differently. And then, of course, your concessions and requests and needs. So the buyer expectations, yeah, they are looking at those 37% price reductions, and they are keeping a mindful eye. As a buyer's agent, you don't have to pay full price depending on the market. And in some markets, it is multiple offers, and others, it's not. So being mindful of that is huge. And this is where, again, coming back and communicating effectively is key. I know as agents, we love to send text messages and move very, very quickly. Sometimes pausing, picking up the phone gives you a better negotiating path to help support your clients long time. So definitely prioritize those phone conversations. That is the most important time you can spend right now. Identify people's key motivations. And if it's your client, keep reminding them of that. But also those collaborative negotiations. There's no good or bad guy in this. It's just how do we move the ball along to actually get closed? So my key takeaways for you today, know the national headlines, but keep it local. Always be able to distill down what it means for your seller as they take care of their family right here, right now in their neighborhood. And then always be planning for a strategy session. I love this conversation that you get to have and help support people. And then finally, always prep them with adjustment and negotiations. What does it look like? How do we move forward? What's most important to you? Keep asking those questions, and it makes all the difference in the world. Thanks, guys. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you very much, Holly. Great information as always. So moving right along on the path to ultimate growth, no matter where you are in the business, let's see what's happening at eXp University. Let's head over to University Spotlight with Alyssa Specht. Check this out. Hey there, Alyssa. How are you? Hey, Candace. Welcome.
Hey, Russ. So Russ, this morning I've got a really quick question for you.
Okay.
What do you think is the secret to doing better open houses?
Oh, that's super easy. Better cookies.
Wrong.
Bigger signs?
Closer.
How about a lucky pterodactyl rabbit's foot?
Definitely not.
Okay, fine. I give up. What's the answer?
It's a system.
Okay.
And that's exactly why we are launching Icon Lead Mastery, Massive Leads from Open Houses.
We are bringing you these same strategies that top icons use to generate leads before, during, and after every open house.
And we've created step-by-step playbooks that'll tell you exactly what to do to get started.
We've got signs, we've got scripts, we've got follow-up campaigns, we've got social media, and you are going to get access to our brand new open house app. We've got it all.
That's right, Alyssa. So if you are tired of rubbing your lucky pterodactyl foot and hoping people show up, make sure to join us next week for Massive Leads from Open Houses.
Scan the QR code and we'll see you there.
All right, there you go. Check that out. Open house. If you guys haven't seen that, these two ladies do an amazing job of bringing you the best information. So make sure you register now. It's going to be something worth your time. All right, Alyssa, now enough goofing around with Candace. Take it away. What's going on in university?
All right, now it is time for us to get down to business, starting with FastCap. Guys, Candace and I are going to be launching a brand new cohort of FastCap on July 8th. If you are someone looking for more consistency, more accountability, more appointments on your calendar, this is the place to be. This is not about a bunch of random things, doing all of them, hoping that they stick. This is 6 weeks of live coaching, of conversations and daily action designed to help you build genuine, actual momentum. So make sure that you register on expuniversity.com. Again, that's July 8th. It's coming up quick. And can your business wait? All right. Now, my friends, too, if you are also looking to sharpen your skills a little more, we've got some amazing content coming your way. Starting with Level Up, we actually have Jeff Sutherland coming in to talk about closing buyers. So if you have had buyers hesitate or struggle to get across that finish line, Jeff is here talking about and having those conversations and strategies that help agents create some confidence and get more clients to that closing table. But we are not done yet. Now we're back in the lab, and this time we have YouTube legend Jackson Wilkie pulling back the curtain on YouTube lead gen. Guys, I know a lot of us wonder, how are they actually doing it? What are those strategies? Tune into the lab to find out. My friends, whether you are out here looking for accountability, whether you're looking for better conversations, or even some new lead gen strategies, we've got you covered. I will see you in class.
All right. Thank you, Alyssa. That was a lot of fun with you guys. I appreciate that. We have such an amazing amount of training coming from eXp University this summer. You're not going to want to miss out on that. So one more reminder for you guys. If you haven't already heard, Slack is going away. And some of you are saying, yay! And some of you are saying, what do you mean, Russ? Slack is going away. If you haven't heard already, Slack is going away at the end of this month, at the end of June. So if you haven't already, go to hub.exprealty.com, and that will be the new hub of all communications EXP style. So again, hub.exprealty.com. Go in there, click it in, set up, and get yourself in there so you can start to see what's going on. So before we have a sign off today, I have a quick favor from you. Your feedback is what drives this show forward. I hope you like the new style and little things we're playing with to make it better. Click on the QR code and give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did. And also, of course, always be happy to get feedback from you. So feel free to type something in there. So that's all we have for the Big Agent Meeting for this week. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Stay tuned. iConversations coming up next.
Following the Big Agent Meeting, serious agents are coming here. KGCI streams real-world real estate strategy 24 hours a day.
Lead generation, conversion, marketing that actually works.
Take it with you wherever you go. Download the always free Real Estate On Air mobile app for iPhone and Android, available now.